Hello, and thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Meadow 75, and this is your Massachusetts Beer Reviews. And this is not a review of any kind, although I will be drinking from one of our last reviews, the Elysian Space Dust IPA, which I gave a 90 out of 100. Nor is this really a PSA of any kind. It's just sort of my thoughts and opinions here. Really cool YouTuber, by the way. I won't give you their name to protect the innocent, as Law and Order would say. But I saw this YouTuber do a video, I think it was fairly recently, if I'm not mistaken, although I'm not really sure when. The video was uploaded to YouTube. They were reviewing Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, and they sort of had a hipster look about them, a hipster kind of a vibe about them, talking about the beer. You know, it's good for sustainable people that like sustainable and green things and kale chips and whatnot, and saying that the beer had no flavor or little to no flavor, and how much of a chore it was going to be to drink this beer. And I mean, this YouTuber makes no bones about it that this YouTuber really prefers their craft beers and not the macro lagers or beers from the companies that produce millions and millions of gallons of beer a year. So as you can see from the title here, my statement here is going to be, don't be a beer snob. And by that I mean, do not look down upon people for their beer choice, for their selection of beer that they like to drink. Don't, just make fun of people and call them names just because of a beer they drink. That's a little, to me, it's a little childish, and it's a little ridiculous to do that. And I'm not going to get overly angry or upset if you do it. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm not one of those people that's going to get up here in front of the camera on YouTube and, call people out for the style or the choice of beers that they drink. When I look at the craft beer community as a whole, I think there's a couple of different people that are out there reviewing beers and drinking beers and enjoying beers. There's two different camps. There's people that only drink three. People that only drink the macro beers, people that only drink craft beer, and then people like myself and a lot of the community that I hang around with, where we can drink both and we can be totally in harmony drinking both, because both craft beers and macro beers have their merits and have their place in the community. And they're different styles of beers, so you have to look at them as different styles of beers. So if you like a India Pale Ale like Elysian Space Dust, or if you like a beer like Pabst Blue Ribbon or Coors Banquet beer, why in the holy hell does that make you a terrible person? I'm not really sure. But I can be completely honest in saying that my love for craft beer totally outweighs my love for macro beers, but I do like those styles of beers a lot. And when it comes to me, when I drink and enjoy the craft beers, I view myself, and even just in the beer community, I view myself more as a beer nerd than a beer snob. So the beer nerd is going to be really a person that's really enthusiastic about beer and really likes to talk about beer, really wants to share beers with you, really wants to go out there in the community and really share beers and share their knowledge and have a good time, not only drinking a good beer and enjoying that good beer, but sharing that experience with other people, educating people that may not know otherwise about a lot of these great beers, and hopefully turning people on to the great world of craft beer. And then there are the snobs. Like I was saying a little earlier, snobs look down on people for their selection and their choice of a beer that they like to drink. They make fun of people and they look down on people when they don't know information about beer. They're not so up in the brewing process. They don't have their current beer news. They would probably almost never drink an Elysian Space Dust because it's owned by Anheuser-Busch. Oh, good lord. It still tastes freaking amazing, by the way. And when they go to a party, they don't bring craft beers for the rest of the party goers to enjoy or maybe turn them on to a really nice product. But they bring just enough craft beer where it's theirs, it's mine, you can't touch it. See you later. Get out of my face. And I don't like any of that. I don't like any of that in the craft beer community. The Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube, and so many others that I'm associated with on YouTube, on Jay Terriot's Wednesday night reviews. Sometimes there's Thursday examinations. Sometimes there's Fridays with Lance the Lush, Lance Bell. Sometimes the British guys do Saturday afternoons. So I like hanging around with a lot of these people because, yes, we're all not the biggest macro lager beer drinkers, sure, but we're tolerant of every kind of a beer style that could possibly be out there on the market, and we like to try everything so we know what we like and what we don't like. You're going to have a better experience if you're trying a lot of different things, if your taste buds can get different beers in there to see what you like and see what you don't like. And if you don't like it, well, that's perfectly fine. You shouldn't look down on somebody else that drinks that drinks a Bud Light and really enjoys his or her Bud Light. And you're like, oh, I gotta drink a Space Dust IPA. Your Bud Light shit. Why the hell is that shit? And we all need to just coexist and have fun in this community. It's a hobby. We are not drinking beers. I think most of us are not drinking beers and getting mass amounts of money from corporations to do it. It's a hobby. Let's have fun. And the other thing I can't stand when it comes to these beer snob people that look down on the macro beers and the lagers is they talk about how they're bland and boring and uneventful, but then they got a whole glass of it and they go, oh, it's going to be a chore to drink it. If you don't claim it tastes like hardly anything, how could that be a chore to drink it? I've always had the thought process of I'd rather have a beer taste like nothing than a beer to have really bad flavors. Now, a PBR is not going to have bad flavors. Let's be completely honest. Most of these macro beers, unless they're scraping the bottom of the barrel in the supermarket or at the liquor store and they're dirt cheap, most of these beers aren't going to have off flavors. They're going to be really done well to a T. And to tell you the truth, because of the consistency these beers have to have in the marketplace, they're some of the hardest beers to brew, these American pale lagers and adjunct style lagers and mass market beers, the hardest beers to brew. So if they don't really taste like anything, how is it a chore to drink it? I mean, yeah, you'd rather drink a IPA, pale ale, imperial stout, barley wine, wheat wine, English strong ale. You'd rather drink anything else. I get it, but if we don't look at beers in context, that they all have a place, and we can all coexist in that place, I think we're doing ourselves a really big, gigantic disservice. And the reasoning I started doing this, cheers Tyler Mansell for drinking with me the Elysian Space Dust. So, in other words, if we all can't have fun in this community, why even be a part of the community? So don't be a beer snob. Don't look down on people. Don't take a crap on different beer styles, whether they're done by smaller independent breweries or major corporations. And certainly don't be a beer snob that doesn't like to share beer and doesn't like to give out knowledge and have fun in this beer drinking community. That is what I'm going to say. We're at 9 minutes and 30 seconds plus here. Want to share a beer with Thomas Metal 75? Message me. Comment below. I'm on Facebook on Massachusetts Beer Reviews. It's a group. Search for me. Eric Fraunfilter. That's my name with the K. Eric on Facebook. Privately message me. Whatever you want to do. Let's get together and have a beer and have a really fun time drinking it. Before we go, we have viewer Tyler Mansell watching. Cheers to you, good sir. He says that he's drinking the Space Dust now, and it's the first time that he's tried the bottle, and he is absolutely loving it. I gave it an A in my last review. This is a great, great, great beer. Tyler Mansell, you want to do a live beer review sometime? Message me. But until next time, keep tasting those great beers, all kinds of beer styles. Don't be a snob. I will see you soon.